a slower day. I guess it's just one of those days where you're like, what the hell happened? I guess one of the probably the biggest thing that happened today was outside of About.dev. My fiance's mom works at a kind of like field club place, and it's they need someone to rebuild their site, and so let's see here. I wonder. I probably wasn't on this computer. Halo. I think it's Halo Fitness nc.com, and they want to kind of do a whole rebrand. So they reached out and got in touch with myself, and I talked with them for about an hour, and I think this will be a cool little project to rebuild their site. So yeah, I'm going to send over a proposal, and it should be pretty simple. I could probably build like a Squarespace site for them and use a little bit of custom CSS and a little custom jQuery or whatever, and they would be super pumped. So I think that there's decent opportunity to make a bit of money here and do a great project for family and friends, which I want to do. But it also makes me think of like, man, am I losing focus again? But I think that I can do this in a decently quick amount of time and make something that they'd be really, really excited about. So, yeah, so this is in place. I need to put together a proposal and an hourly rate and all this stuff for them. One of the things that I'll probably use to do that is doubleyourfreelancing.com by Brennan Dunn. If you haven't heard of Brennan Dunn, he's kind of like, to me, he's a little bit like underground, but he's not a lot of people, or at least I haven't seen a lot of people that know about him, but he has some just awesome, awesome stuff here. And there's some stuff about like putting together your, what you call it, the proposal. So I'll probably use some stuff from here to make the proposal and send it their way. So that's one thing that happened today. Another thing that happened today was I transitioned my stuff, my Pigeon by Pat Walls, where I kind of send my sequences and everything. I transitioned it from here in my Gmail over to my aboutus.dev email address. So now I'll be able to start to send emails from a legit handle or a legit email, which company email, which will be great. So that's solid. Other things that happened is I think I got just kind of stuck or just totally stuck on having to transcribe the 37-minute interview. Excuse me. Actually, I think it was like 31 minutes, 32 minutes. And I kept trying to figure out, like, I just didn't want to go through. I just didn't want to go through with it because it takes so freaking long to do. And I started for 5 minutes. I guess my body felt tired today, and I just felt slow. So I put it here in GarageBand, and then if you double click on this right here, and it'll pop up down here, and you can click this little icon, and then you can change the tempos. So like right now, this tempo is like super. Can you hear it? Let me see. Can I play? Guys are your customers? What kind of things are they doing most? So I was gonna just listen to the whole freaking thing like that and type it out. And I'd done probably like a half hour before trying to figure out what I could do. I downloaded a few apps onto my phone and like uploaded them and tested them out. None of them are giving me that good of transcriptions. Like, it wasn't even worth it. I had one that I sent to myself here, and it just like, this is it right here. And so, hey, bruh, it like 3D, but I'm using, different kinds of backgrounds. It just doesn't like, it's hard for me to read this and get into it really quick. So I just was frustrated with this, and I didn't get anywhere with it. And this is like my one. I was listening to a great podcast. If you don't listen to it, it's called My First Million. It's by Sean Parr and Sam something. I'm blowing it here. Yeah, Sean Purry, and fudge, I can't remember. But just go to My First Million. They got a bunch of really great episodes. The one that came out today was Sean Puri. He's awesome, man. That guy's really kind-hearted, good dude. Seems like he works hard. I mean, I've listened to like a couple dozen of these podcasts, and I'm just a big fan of his kind of like his mode of operation. He's really great. But he put out one around his kind of like 10 favorite frameworks that he uses, and one of the things he was talking about was getting done your top thing every day. And my top thing today was getting this thing transcribed and then writing it out. So then tomorrow I can get into the weeds and start to build out the company profile and build out the different assets that they're going to use, and I'm going to use to kind of like promote the profile on these different pages. And yeah, I didn't finish that today, so bummed me out. But I got to make sure I do that like one big thing. So I think now with my to-do list, I'll probably just like, I have this to-do list. I do do's and not do's, but maybe I'll like do this of like, if I finish this one thing during the day, like this was me trying to figure out something else to do. What would it like, and that would make me feel great. Like, what's the highest impact thing I could do today? Because I always have these like 12 hours or 8 to 12 hours during the day to get something done. I can get done like the big main thing every day. Sometimes it might be just like a really quick thing that I've been putting off forever, like talking to someone I need to talk to, even a friend or family member. Other times it's going to be a big project. Like this was the big project today and I blew it. So I, at the end of the day, I just started looking up different services, that could transcribe it. The best one that I found is called rev.com. So I went ahead and uploaded it to rev.com. I placed my order. It's like $1.25 for every minute. So I trimmed it down. It's 31 minutes total. So it's costing me about $36, $37. I can't remember exactly the cost, but it's right around there. Who cares? I'm a cheap human being. So that was like a hard thing for me to think about. But these guys are paying $49 a month. And we basically established like it would be for a year. Obviously, they can turn it off anytime they want. But if I think about it that way, this probably would have taken me 3 hours to do. So that how much is my time worth? Like, and if I just put it in here, I should have put it in here this morning, because if I did it this morning or even last night right after the interview, I could have came in and then just started freaking hammering it out. Building out the company profile in the CMS, and everything would have been on its way, but I didn't do that, and so here we are. So this thing's in progress. It'll be done probably some point tonight, which means I'll pick it up early tomorrow morning, which I'm hoping then I can just go through, kind of copy paste these sections of like the questions and the answers, and then tweak them, put them into the CMS, and then once in the CMS, I have my company profile is done. Then the next step is to go in and start to build out all the different materials in Figma and the different ways that I'm going to write it out for like Twitter and the different locations that I'll promote it at. So, and the different ways that I'm going to speak about it. I feel like I haven't done a good job at explaining exactly what that means, but like if I'm going to promote on like, let's say, CS, like computer science women, like CS women on subreddit, I need to tweak this in some way to be formatted and designed for that audience, right? And so for each of these different platforms that I'm going to be putting it on, I need to make sure that I'm redoing it, like tweaking it for the audience on that platform. And that helps get views and engagement way more than just putting in a link. So so today was a slow day. I wish it would have been faster. We have these days. I'm glad that I did it I had like 2 big days of outreach, cold email outreach earlier this week, where I sent about 20 or 10 2 days in a row. So I think I hit my like 25 or 30 companies to email this week, which is good. And I'll hopefully, I got to make sure I do that every week, keep that outreach going. It's like a massive thing to keep the pipeline warm with new people coming in. or new companies coming into it that I'm reaching out to. And yeah, I'm gonna have a weekend of some work, so I'll update us as we go, and maybe once the rev file comes in, I'll do a little live stream of me putting together the writing, because I guess that's some work, and that'll be a fun thing to do, and that'll make me want to do it a little bit more. So yeah. Other thing that happened today too is the restream didn't work on Twitter yesterday, so I apologize because that bummed me out. I wish it did work. But if I come in here, the reason it didn't work was I basically had like disconnected Twitter because it was doing these double tweets, and I don't want the double tweets, but now I don't know how to get rid of the double tweets that come through. So I have to deal with it until I figure it out. Yeah, so that's where we are. Tomorrow I'll jump back on here and I'll do a live day of work, or live like a couple hours of work, taking the copy from the interview and formatting it into the CMS. And then from there, I'll probably do another live stream where I start to take the copy and hone it in for these different platforms, which should be fun. So hope you're having a killer Friday evening. Go out, have some fun. I'm going out to dinner with some family friends tonight. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing well. Yoo-hoo!